In this second video, we are going to discuss about difficult words or glossary with critical appreciation of the poem Life. In this poem, there are few words which are new for you. Let's see those words and their meaning. So the first word here, that is transient. Transient means temporary, for a short period. Next word here, that is fleet by. Fleet by, that is move quickly. Third word, that is sages. Sages, already I have told you the meaning of sages. Sages means saints, wise men, or you can say spiritual leaders. Those who are actually taught us the way of life, how to live our life. So these people are called as sages. Next word, gloom. Gloom means sadness. Oft. Oft is the abbreviation which is used for often. Lament. Lament means express grief or regret. When you are feeling sad for someone, and that time, if you are expressing your feeling, so that is called as lamenting. The pronunciation of this word, that is buoyant. Buoyant. And the meaning of this particular word, that which can rise upwards. Whenever something going upward, maybe in commercial view or maybe in business, so that time is called as buoyant. Next word, courage. You know the meaning of this word, that is strength. You can say inner strength of a person. Courage. Next word, that is quell. Quell means end, suppress, or crush. So it's very simple word. Next, despair. Despair means when the person having this feeling, that is hopelessness, or maybe if you don't have a hope, that time it is called as despair. And when this feeling we have in our mind, the person is called as desperate person. Next, last word is sway. When you have influence of something on your mindset, that time when you are actually controlling it, so that time you can say sway or swaying. Now after this we are going to discuss about the main point, that is question number 3b, textual poems critical appreciation. So question number 3b, this point is having 5 marks in the examination, and if you have solved the critical appreciation correctly, you will get out of marks. If you compare critical appreciation of this year with previous year, you will get simple critical appreciation here, because here you need to just think about 5 points. Which points are these? Let's see. So these are the 5 points. The first point, title. If you have written the title correctly, you will get half mark. If you have written the correct name of the poet, you will get half mark. Let me tell you that title and poet, both the things you have in your question paper. So it's not a difficult task to find out the title of the poem or the name of the poet. Next, that is rhyme scheme. It is very simple to identify the rhyme scheme. So if you already know something about the rhyme scheme of the poem, so it's very simple. So which rhyme scheme is used here by the poetess? So in this poem, the poetess has used ABAB. That is the rhyme scheme of this poem. Figure of speech. Here you should know you should know something about figures of speech, and at least you should know about one example from the poem. If you have written and explained that particular example, you will get 1 mark. Last point is very important. That is theme or central idea of the poem. And it is expected that at least you should write 2 to 3 lines about the central theme of the poem. Because every poem has its own theme or central idea. So these are the content and these are the marks. And total marks are 5. So now I'm going to do critical appreciation of the poem. So let's see. Critical appreciation of the poem Life, which was written by Charlotte Bronte. Let's see. So these are the 5 points. Title. Remember, if you want to create an impression on the mindset of the examiner, so always write title and poet in different way. So here I have written the title of the poem Life is suggestive of the theme of the poem. So here you will get the theme of the poem by reading the title of the poem. The poem is an optimistic take on life and says that both the good and bad times in life don't last forever. So nothing is permanent on this planet. The second point, poet. So already known the name of the poet. The poem has been written by Charlotte Bronte, and I have added more information about Charlotte Bronte, a celebrated novelist and poetess of 19th century. So she's not only written poetry but also poems, novels. So she belongs to 19th century. Rhyme scheme, know the rhyme scheme of this particular poem. So let's see, the rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, A, B. Now, figure of speech. So here I'm going to discuss only one figure of speech, which is already you have learned in previous standard. Oft a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Often a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Foretelling belongs to speaking or talking or telling something. And speaking is the quality of human being. This is not the quality of animated thing. So this human quality is transferred to the inanimate object, that is rain. So the human quality of foretelling is transferred is or given to the morning rain. So here we have which figure of speech? Personification. Which figure of speech? Personification. And the last point I'm going to discuss here, that is theme or central idea of the poem. Every poem has its own theme or central idea. So if you have watched explanatory video carefully, so you know the theme of the poem. The poem revolves around the central idea that life is a combination of good and bad times. No situation lasts forever. We should always be optimistic, fearless, hopeful, and courageous in life. So already we have discussed a lot about the central theme in previous video. Now, after this, we're going to discuss some of the major figures of speech used in the poem. Personification already we have discussed now. So, I'm not going to repeat that particular figure of speech. The first figure of speech here I'm going to discuss, that is introcation. Introcation, you have learnt this figure of speech in previous standard. Introcation is asking a question not for the sake of getting an answer, but to put a point more effectively. Here, the person who is asking the question is not expecting the answer, but he put the question to get more emphasis on the point. So, Here in the poem, this figure of speech used effectively. And the example here, that is, oh, why lament its fall? And the question mark is there. So it is a rhetorical question. If you are not expecting the answers from the audience, that time if you have asked such kind of the question, it is called as rhetorical question. Remember that. Next figure of speech we are going to discuss here, that is metaphor. You are already familiar with this figure of speech, metaphor. What is metaphor? A metaphor is a figure of speech that for rhetorical effect directly refers to one thing by mentioning another. When we have the direct comparison between two objects or two things, we have metaphor. So here in this poem, the example of metaphor is life's sunny hours flit by. So in this statement, sunny hours are actually compared with the happy days. So this is the direct comparison between the sunny hours and happy days. Next figure of speech is new for you. This is called as euphemism. The pronunciation of the figure of speech here, that is euphemism. And euphemism is a figure of speech which mean an expression in which the words are not used in their literal sense. It means the literal meaning of the word is different and intended meaning of the word is different. So you can say this is an unusual or imaginative use of the language. You can say figurative language. And the example of euphemism, that is, and calls our best away. So here the word best away may be related with the relatives of ourselves. Maybe it is closely related with the people, those who are actually in our family, or maybe it is related with the death. So the actual meaning of the best is different and the intended meaning of the word is different. So death is expressed in a mild manner by using the words call away or best away. So this is all about euphemism. So the poetess Charlotte Bronte has used so many figures of speech for making her poetry effective. So this is all about the figures of speech used in the poem. And now we are going to discuss about one thing. We are going to conduct one of the quiz on figures of speech. So I hope you have understood this lecture clearly, and I'm expecting that you will solve the quiz in good way. So thank you everyone once again. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you.